Have you ever watched a UFC fight and wondered how can these fighters keep throwing punches, kicks, and takedowns for 25 minutes without getting tired? Well, here's something shocking. Most UFC fighters don't train for just 1 or 2 hours a day. Some of them train for 6, even 8 hours every single day. But here's the crazy part. It's not just about fighting. Their training starts the moment they wake up and often doesn't end until they go to sleep. So, what does a typical UFC fighter's day actually look like? Let's find out. Imagine it's 7 a.m. While most people are still sleeping, a UFC fighter is already at the gym. The first session is usually strength and conditioning. This can include sprinting, weight training, explosive exercises, rowing, cycling, or circuit workouts. The goal isn't to build big muscles. The goal is to become faster, stronger, and harder to tire out. This session usually lasts 60 to 90 minutes, but the day is far from over. After eating and recovering, they return for a second session. This is where the real fight training begins. Boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, footwork drills, pad work, sparring, technique practice, another 1.5 to 2 hours of intense work. Now most people would be exhausted, but UFC fighters are just getting started. Later in the day comes the third session. Wrestling and grappling, learning how to take opponents down, defending takedowns, practicing submissions, escaping bad positions. This session can easily last another 2 hours. By the end of the day, a professional UFC fighter may have trained between 4 and 6 hours, and during fight camps, sometimes even more. But here's something many fans don't realize. Training isn't just physical, recovery is also part of the job. Stretching, ice baths, physical therapy, massage, nutrition, sleep. Without recovery, the body breaks down. That's why elite fighters often treat recovery as seriously as training itself. Now, before you think you should start training 6 hours a day, don't. Most UFC fighters have spent years building up to that workload. Trying to copy them on day one is the fastest way to get injured. Instead, start with 1 hour a day. Learn the basics, build your fitness, stay consistent, and gradually increase your training over time. Because the truth is, UFC fighters aren't superhuman. They simply do something most people don't. They show up day after day, year after year, even when they don't feel like it. And that's what turns ordinary athletes into world champions. So the next time you watch a UFC fight, remember this. You're not just watching 15 or 25 minutes inside a cage. You're watching the result of thousands of hours of training, sacrifice, and discipline. And that's what makes UFC fighters different.